What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Click Podcast. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Satch, and we are about to have another wonderful episode. Guys, we've had some amazing topics that we've been discussing before, like with self-love, like what's purpose and principles. But one thing that we really want to talk about today, and I think it really resonates with all of us because things change over time, is how do we define success, right? And like myself, and I know Satch has had tremendous success and probably across several industries, but I know that things change over time, right? Success definitely changes over time, but I think there's a definite principle of how we are raised and how we are conditioned as young adults on what we actually think success is. But Satch, I want to hear your story first. Like when you were a child growing up, even probably going in high school, young adulthood, what was success for you?
Yeah, it's amazing topic. I'm really excited to talk about this because we talked about purpose, and sometimes we do kind of think that that's what success is finding our purpose, but really purpose is getting to finding your superpower and the thing to drive you and sort of the lane that you're in. That's your purpose. But success is sort of, the kind of the manifestation of that purpose. And for a lot of us, we get programmed to believe what success is. And that was my story. When I was young, my parents were immigrants in this country. They didn't have a lot of money. We had a lot of challenges. And so success was very simple. It was have monetary success or not be successful. And that was sort of the definition that I grew up with. And I think a lot of people grow up with, thinking it's a very materialistic definition. And so when I was younger, that was my goal. That was my motive is, hey, I have to be successful. It means I have to go and make money. And so like I've talked about this before, I did that. And all of a sudden when I got to that sort of destination, which is what I thought success was, some level of, monetary success, it was a destination. I was like, wait, this is not right. Like, this is it. I don't feel different. In fact, I probably feel worse, and for, many other reasons. But over time, what I've realized is that, there's two important aspects of defining success. The first one is that it has to come from you and from within. Only you can define your success. That's our gift as individuals, as human beings with conscious thought, is that we get to define what joy, success, and our life, accomplishments look like. What does that mean to us? So that's, I think, the most important thing is to, figure out that for yourself. And you can take clues from other people, and, you'll resonate with certain people and stories and say, oh, I want some of that. So that's a way to understand, okay, this area in life, what this person has, I'm gravitating to that. Okay, maybe that's important to me. Maybe success is something to do with, this and that. You can take from other people, but at the end of the day, you define what that is. And then the second important thing to me was, it isn't static. It's actually not a destination. Success is living, right? So it's even the process. So you might have a goal. I want to do this in my career. I want to have a family. I want to have whatever it is. These are goals that you're after. Success isn't reaching that goal. Success is that process that goes on every single day. Yeah. And I think those were the two sort of distinctions for me about it.
I absolutely love that. I'm going to touch on both of those, but obviously you brought up your childhood before, right? And I really want to go into that because I'm a father now, and I know, looking back on my childhood and probably your childhood as well, we model what we see, right? And I definitely took a big model from what my parents have showed me. My parents are entrepreneurs. They've owned their own business for well over 30 years. And I saw the success that they had as a couple, as a happy married couple that resonated through our entire family. And I was very fortunate that my father and my mother had a very entrepreneurial spirit, and they would educate me. They would educate me on finances. They would educate me on life. They would educate me on investments. My dad literally sat me down at the age of 16. He's like, son, how much do you want to make? And I was like, I don't know. 100,000 sounds good. And then he literally breaks it down, right? 100,000. You want a house? Yes. You want a wife? Yes. You want 2 cars? Yes. You want insurance for both of you? Yes. You want life insurance for both of you? Yes. You want 2 kids? Yes. You want insurance for them too? And just broke it down and like, how much money left over? And I was like, not very much. Oh, and guess what? You have taxes. I'm like, wow. That was a huge lesson for me, right? because I had the vision board when I was young too, and I wanted all the things, right? I wanted the fast car, the big house, the beautiful wife, which I have. Hi, Sabri. And it was all driven on material thing, because we thought, looking for magazines and looking at TV and looking at the shows, that is what I wanted to emulate. I wanted to be that guy in the movie because he had all the things, right? And we realized that we kill ourselves literally trying to achieve that. Trying to achieve a paper dollar, right? That has no value to us, but yet we're programmed, we're conditioned, and we're trained that once you achieve this level of monetary success, then you'll be happy, right? And yet, like you said, you quickly realize like that's not the thing. That's not the way. Even when you have hundreds and millions of dollars in the account and you just look at it, it's just a number. It's like, but what do I have inside? I came to that realization very, very early in life. And I want to thank my father for that too, because he had one specific conversation with me. He's like, son, when you get out into the workforce, you're going to start making some good money. I know you will. Okay. But when you get that check, all I want you to do is look at it, be proud of yourself, put it in the account, and do it again. And be smart, live simple, and invest the rest. And he was right. He was very, very right. Because he also said this, son, even when you think it's enough, it's never enough. It's never enough, right? And we beat ourselves up about that. Even when I, shows the kids, some of the checks that we actually make, to them, they don't really understand it. And I even tell my wife, I was like, ask me if I'm happier because of it. And I say no, because I know that money is a tool. Money is a vehicle, right? And I want to talk about how you say success is a journey, right? And I truly, truly believe that, right? Because we all go through milestones in our life that we've achieved certain things at the age of 25 or by 30 or by 35 and on into your 40s, where there's certain milestones that we've hit and we're like, what's next, right? What is next? And I truly believe that, success is a definite journey, but you get to choose that journey every single day. And I define that journey back by trying to realize what your true potential is. Because over the businesses that you've started, over the industries that you've been in and conquered, same with me, there's always something more that you can do. There's always something more that you want to create. There's always something new that you can start, with a business. And I think that journey is very exciting because I know that there's never going to be a day where I just see myself on the couch. And I know the same for you, right? That's just not in our nature whatsoever. So defining success and what that looks like and having that evaluation, every year, and then your 5-year plan, 10-year plan. My 10-year plan has changed probably 3 or 4 times and I'm only 30 years old, right? I'm only 30 years old, and that's okay. But the internal success, what I came to realize, I think being a father and having Tristan and Sky, they've taught me so many wonderful lessons, is that I don't care about the monetary success, my kid's going to have. All I want to know is that they're happy, they're healthy, they're with a good husband or wife, they have wonderful kids, and they figured out the game of life to where they can actually sustain themselves and go on wonderful vacation. That's all we really care about. It's just seeing our kids happy. I don't care if he makes $1 million. Maybe it's not in it for him. That's fine. I just want to make sure that he's able to define his own purpose, or she, of success, and really go out there and strive for that. Because like you said, it's different for everybody. Not everybody wants to go out there and make $1 million, and that's okay. But making sure that you're a good father, you come home to a good wife, that you treat each other right, you raise a good family, that's huge. And for a lot of people, including myself, that's success in its own right. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think what you shared is, your definition of success, and that's what this conversation is about. It's that ownership of being able to define that, not having it put on you, right? So then it can be real for you. And so for me, sometimes what this process of life has taken is, it went from sort of a certain idea that was put on me by the society, or we all have, and it's totally natural and there's nothing wrong with it. And when I got there and I was like, wait, this doesn't feel like success, right? I expected being successful to feel a lot better than I feel now. So it wasn't that thing. That's neither good or bad. What shifted for me was defining success as the person that I am. Yeah. So it became, man, like the person who gets up, gets knocked down, and keeps coming back and learned some of those lessons. That's a successful person. It wasn't that they got there. It was that they got back up all the times they got knocked down, and they learned from that. That to me is real success. Then to me, real success is, your impact on others. So, throughout your life, and it's not this big idea of impact where you've got to go save the world, but just how you treat people, and, are your friends and your friends of friends and your little network that you have through life, are they better off knowing you?
Yeah.
Are they a little happier? Do they get a little bit wiser? Do they feel a little bit safer? Do they feel they had someone and they weren't alone? If you can do that for even a handful of people, that's insanely successful, because if one person can impact 5 people in that manner, I mean, that's it. The world's a different place. It's not enough, you've done your job. And so I shifted success through these processes of, another part of success, the definition of it for me is, using my superpower and putting in, you said we will never sit on the couches. We're here to be active. We talked about entertaining and being entertained. We're not here to be entertained. We're here to be active participants in life while we're here. And success is making sure that we have that energy and we go out and wake up every day to go do that. And if I can do that every single day, I live a successful life. Wherever the chips may fall with, the things that I accumulate or get to see or do, those are great. But I can know that I lived a successful life because I gave it my all, impacted others, constantly grew, and was willing to take on whatever life throws at me. And I think that's an amazing place for me to have found, because every day is empowering now, because you can do that every day. Nothing outside needs to happen for you to be able to do that.
And one of the big things that I just took from what you said, and this is like part of the second topic that we want to bring in, is you set your own expectations. You set your own expectations for how you want to show up as a man. What is the character that Satch is going to show every single day? And you hold yourself, to that level of standard, which I think is very, very beautiful. Because I think a lot of times in life, we try to realize the expectations of others, trying to make mom proud, trying to make dad proud, right? Trying to make your family proud. Right? And we hold this expectation thinking that we have to get to this certain level, when really the only one that's actually trying to achieve that is you, right? But when you finally take a look inside and realize, these are the expectations of how I want to be as a human being, a lot of things just kind of fall into place. And you said it perfectly, right? Your character. How do you show up? And that's the same thing for me. Same exact thing for me. I know that I want to just wake up a beautiful, happy, positive human being. And I want that to resonate into everybody that I touch, everybody that I talk to, everybody that I come in contact, and everybody that I give a hug to, especially, right? That's how I want to show up as a human being. That is my expectation, because just like you're saying, that is one of my superpowers. When you realize that is your superpower, where you can transfer that beauty and that energy and that love to another individual, it resonates just through every other soul that they also come in contact. Why? Because you left an impression on them. And that impression is long lasting, and it's everlasting, because you touched their heart, not their pocketbook. You touched their heart. And that's true transformation. And that's an expectation I think is very beautiful, that I would encourage a lot of people to strive for. It's like the expectation of how I'm going to be as a man or how I'm going to be as a woman, because who you are and who you decide to wake up that very next day is going to be a direct impact on how you're going to affect the world, your community, your city, your family, and yourself. How do you feel about that?
The word expectation has taken me to a very interesting place. So, and I think it's a theme of this podcast. We've talked about it, about, focusing on you and what you can control, and not everything that happens in the outside world, because that noise is always going to exist. But I love the way you said the expectation I have for myself, because that is in your power. Yeah. That is in your control. So if you're not living up to your own standard, is the word I use, but your own expectation of yourself, then you can correct that, because you're in control of that. And you don't feel great about yourself, and you want to feel great about yourself. So that's an internal sort of management process that over time you get to, because you want to be a certain standard of person. You have certain expectations of yourself. I think one of the most freeing things in the world is when you remove any expectation that you have of the outside world. So, the word that comes to mind is entitlement. And I think a lot of times we use this word deserve. And I think I may have talked about this before, but to me, that's like just a bad word. I never use that word. I prefer the word earned. So I don't wake up in the morning and be like, well, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to have love. What have I done? Why do I deserve it versus you or every other human being? Why are we different? We're all born in this planet, right? God created all of us equally, right? That's the saying. So why do you deserve something over me? So deserve to me is the wrong word, and that comes from entitlement, and that also comes from expectation of what the world should give you. But earned is the expectation you're talking about.
Yes.
You're talking about my expectation for myself, which gives you the ability to go earn the things that you want in life and how you want other people to treat. And I think when we have that shift of these small little words are so powerful because they're programmed in us and they're on repetition. And if we can make these slight little shifts from using the word earned versus deserve, or, understanding that when you have an expectation from something else outside, you're actually acting out of entitlement, and nobody would do that if they use that word, but you can have an expectation from yourself. And I love that.
You just hit something on the nail there for me, brother. And I love the perspective that you had as far as just being creative and being different with your words, as far as how you earned your happiness. Okay. I've had several people ask me, like, Josh, how are you so happy all the time? How are you always so positive? And I even answered the question yesterday. I was like, it's called training, bro. I have to train myself every morning to be this person, but I've earned this position of happiness because I've done the work. I know what it takes to be happy and create those micro commitments for myself and have the discipline to be the person that I want to be and be the person that I want to be to everybody. And then I become that individual and I see it and I live it. And that's a wonderful thing. Like the success that you have is because I've earned it. I put in the time, I put in the work, I put in the effort. The new relationship that you have that's so beautiful and so wonderful is because you've earned it. You've put in, like I said, you put in the time to actually see what that looks like for you. And maybe some of those things because you had to change yourself first. You had to change the look on and the outlook on how you see yourself, the person that you see in the mirror. And maybe you had to change a couple different words about, your internal conversation in order to be that person, to become that person in 3 years, 5 years, or even tomorrow or in 6 months from now. That was super huge. Thank you so much for sharing that. Guys, this has been an amazing, amazing podcast. I just learned a lot of lessons, even about myself, which is truly wonderful. But we really want you to go out there and dive deep and figure out how do you really define, success? What does that look like for you today and 5 years from now? But like Kasach was saying, be okay with changing the process because it's about the journey, not the destination, right? That's what success is all about, which is really, really wonderful. And then also discover what are the expectations that you want to hold yourself to and what's your character going to be to every single morning and every single day that you wake up that's going to help you achieve this success. When you really figure out those two, I think you're going to have a lot easier time in life and you're going to live a lot happier life. Why? Because you've earned it, right? All right, guys, we're going to let you go on this next episode. Please tune into the next one. We got some amazing, amazing content left for you. So until then, we'll see you on the inside.